Let's go to Turkey now, where thousands of people have taken to the streets for a third night to show their solidarity for President Tayyip Erdogan, who's reasserting his control after the weekend coup attempt. The president has so far ordered the arrests of thousands of military personnel and hundreds of members of the judiciary, and is advocating the death penalty against those who masterminded the plot. Turkey's political leaders are also calling for the extradition from the United States of a Muslim cleric they're blaming for inciting the unrest. Anne Barker has our report.
As the death toll climbed from Friday's botched coup, so too has the number of funerals for the nearly 300 people killed. In the capital Ankara, thousands turned out for a funeral ceremony for 11 of those killed in the violence. 8 were policemen, 1 a soldier and 2 civilians. Among the mourners was Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, whose campaign manager and teenage son were among the dead. The Turkish leader has vowed to crack down on those behind the coup, including the exiled Muslim cleric Fethullah Gulen, who is accused of masterminding the plot against him. This monkey terror organisation supporting Fethullah, we're walking along this road in our shrouds. We'll overpower them and carry our country into the future in unity and solidarity. The exiled cleric has lived in the US for 17 years and denies any involvement in Friday's failed coup, but he says he'll comply with any extradition request. In the past, there were demands from the Erdogan side for an apology, he says, but a believer doesn't apologise to an oppressor. But if there's any possibility of a forceful extradition, of course we'll oblige. But I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried that the American government will give credit to claims that Erdogan is raising. The US Secretary of State John Kerry has told CNN that so far there's been no formal extradition request.
That has to come in a formal package. It has to come with documentation for the request and go to the Justice Department, and we will deal with it. I made it very, very clear to the Foreign Minister of Turkey yesterday. The United States is not harboring anybody. We're not preventing anything from happening. We've never had a formal request for extradition, and we have always said, give us the evidence, show us the evidence. We need a solid legal foundation that meets the standard of extradition in order for our courts to approve such a request.
And that request might well take some time, given Turkish authorities have arrested 6,000 people after Friday's attempted coup, among them judges, prosecutors and senior members of the legal profession, as well as several generals and a former Air Force commander. President Erdogan is advocating the death penalty for the coup masterminds. My brothers, I believe the government will talk about this issue with opposition parties and a decision will definitely be taken. And we cannot delay this decision because those who stage a coup against the state should pay the price. Already 13 rebel soldiers accused of raiding the hotel in Marmaris, where President Erdogan stayed during the coup attempt, have been brought before the courts. Government supporters protested outside, chanting, "We want the death penalty," as the soldiers were escorted into court. They were among 25 soldiers who descended from helicopters above the hotel in an apparent attempt to seize the president, but he just left before them. Another 8 soldiers who fled to Greece after the coup attempt are seeking political asylum there. They were arrested for crossing illegally into Greece and are due in court later today. Their lawyer, Katerina Dapoudani, denies the men were involved in the plot, but says they fear their lives will be endangered if they're deported to Turkey. If it's needed, of course, we'll proceed to an appeal with their consent, she said. They fear for their lives and for their families. They're scared. Turkish authorities are demanding the men's extradition from Greece and have called them traitors. And one Turkish analyst, Dr. Gulnur Aybet, believes those behind the coup may have been in line for expulsion from the army, causing them to rush into an ill-timed and badly planned strike.
One of the theories going about is that some of the perpetrators of the coup probably realized that they were going to be out of the picture within a month, and they'd already planned something and they thought they will not have another chance to do it, which is why we can see that it was a very hastily conducted operation.
And that is Dr. Gulnur Aybet, Professor of International Relations in Istanbul, ending that report by Anne Barker.